Hello, my name is Dallas Gordon, and I am here to share my HS story with you today. And I had set up this channel some time ago saying that I would record my first video to the channel and talk about my journey with hidradenitis suppurativa. But of course, I kind of procrastinated because when you come live, you hit record and you share with the world something that you struggle with, especially a disease. There's always that fear comes in of what people will think of you or people leaving mean comments, things like that. But I did make a promise to God that if I could experience relief and healing from the condition, that I would share my story in hopes to help other people to find some encouragement that you may prayerfully be able to overcome the condition too. So a little backstory about me. I have another channel where I offer business coaching and I talk about God a lot on the channel, a mix of the two. And I did have a few HS videos on that channel. And I ended up hiding those videos, but I promised that I would create a brand new channel and share my journey with HS from it. So that's what I'm doing now. This is a brand new channel. This is my very first video that I'm ever publishing on the channel in reference to HS. And so here we are. Today, I'm going to share a little bit about my own journey with HS, what I went through, where I feel like it started, and what my turning point was. And my plan is to come back and do more videos sharing the different remedies and things like that that have helped me in my journey. The first thing I want to put out there about this channel is that I am absolutely not a medical professional. So anything that you hear on this channel that you try, please do so at your own risk. I am simply sharing what has helped me and what has worked for me, but I can't promise you that something that worked for me will work for you. So I definitely suggest that you consult with a healthcare professional if you have any real questions about whether or not you should do something or not, you don't feel safe doing it, or you're unsure. You definitely should see a doctor about your particular situation, especially with a diagnosis as well. Very, very important to see a doctor about that. So I want to put that out there first. I am not disputing any medical information. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not able to give you any medical information. I'm simply sharing my journey and what has worked for me in hopes that it would help somebody else. So where it all started for me, these are just a few things that I can pinpoint where it started for me. I don't know that these were the causes of it, but this is where it started for me. So I know when I was growing up, I used regular deodorant with aluminum in it. I don't even know if there were options back then for deodorant without aluminum, but I know that from the time that I started using deodorants and things like that, it caused reactions in me at least once a month. So I would use the rub-on type of deodorant, probably Secret or whatever the popular brand was back then. And I remember going to my mom about a painful lump coming under the arm at least once a month. And she would just tell me, oh, that's because you don't worry about it. Just change your deodorant. It'll go away. So that's what I would do. I would change my deodorant and it would later go away. Now, I think I'm jumping ahead of myself. So first of all, let me share what HS is. So for people who have no idea about HS, you don't know what it is, let me actually share the medical definition of what it is. So hidradenitis suppurativa, HS, is a chronic inflammatory skin condition that causes painful lumps, nodules, and abscesses, most often in areas where skin rubs together, like the underarms, groin, buttocks, and under the breast. Over time, these bumps can rupture, drain pus, and sometimes form sinus tracts, tunnel-like connections under the skin, and scarring. Some of the points about HS, let's just start now, because some people like to leave really mean comments under people who are speaking out about HS. It is not herpes. It's not caused by poor hygiene. Instead, it is linked to the hair follicles becoming blocked and inflamed. Some of the risk factors are like hormones, genetics, obesity, and smoking can increase the risk. It tends to run in families. I have to tell you, I don't know anyone else in my family who has struggled or dealt with this condition, not one single person. So I'm not sure about that. Um, but the symptoms are reoccurrent, painful boils or abscesses, scarring, and sometimes odor due to drainage. So I asked if, for those of you who want to know whether or not HS is an autoimmune disease, what I found is not exactly. HS is generally classified as an auto-inflammatory disorder, not a classic autoimmune disease. Now, when I did started to treat myself with the herbs and remedies, I treated myself as if I had a autoimmune disease, as if I had problems with inflammation. And that's what helped me and started to bring relief to me. But it is not considered an autoimmune disease. So autoimmune diseases like lupus or arthritis occur when the immune system mistakenly attacks healthy tissue due to antibodies or autoreactive T cells. But autoinflammatory diseases such as HS involve overactivity of the immune system, causing excessive inflammation, but without the same autoantibodies that define autoimmune diseases. So it is immune related, but it is not considered to be a true autoimmune disease. So I want to put that out there first, because I don't want to assume that everybody who stumbles upon this video knows what I'm talking about or knows what this is. Maybe you're having symptoms and you're surfing the internet or you're surfing YouTube wondering if this is you. So I wanted to put that out there first. So I talked about the deodorant causing lumps under my arms. I just want to note that, because that's what comes to mind when I think about like where it started. The lumps weren't bad. They were just small lumps. And like my mom said, just change your deodorant stick and it will get better. And that's what I would do. So I'm just going to fast forward to, I believe I was in my early 20s. I was partying. I was hanging out. I was with a friend and I did not have any deodorant. I had left my deodorant home. I had taken a bag with me to change so that we could hang out for the night. And I had left my deodorant home. And she was like, don't worry about it. I have toothpaste. My deodorant is in there. You can use mine. And so I used hers. And what I did notice after I used her deodorant that one time, I had a horrible breakout under the arms. Now that could have been some sort of allergic reaction that may not have had anything to do with this, but that's just something that I noticed. And I tell my children, like, I don't allow my children to use deodorant that has aluminum in it. And I don't allow my children to share deodorants with anybody else. I feel like that's a personal thing that only you should use unless you're using like the spray on deodorant. That's just to prevent them from what I went through. And I don't know if it's related. So some time later, I was pregnant with my now 12-year-old, and the pregnancy, I gained a lot of weight with the pregnancy. So my children, so I have are 10 years, well, my first two children are 10 years apart. So I had my son, I waited 10 years to have my next child. So when I had my next child, I gained a lot of weight and fast. And so I feel like it was a rough pregnancy. When I had her, my immune system in general, I felt like my immune system was under attack. I, first of all, didn't feel well after having her. For a very long time, I didn't feel like myself. And a lot of mothers don't. Like when you have a baby, you don't feel like it takes a while for you to get back to yourself. But I really just felt kind of sick after I had her. I didn't feel good. I don't know how to explain it, but I just didn't feel good. I didn't feel healthy. I didn't feel well. I had like some bones acting up in my feet. I had my fingers started clicking. I just stayed at the doctor. And one of the things that really, really broke down for me was the underarm situation. That was the first time I really experienced a huge boil under the arm to the point that it started to drain. And it was painful. And then it would actually switch sides, basically to the other underarm, same spot, but then I would get a bull on the other side, and I didn't understand it. And so it was so bad and so painful at the time that I went to see a doctor because I had no idea what it was I was dealing with. And that's when I was diagnosed with HS. I was told that it was not a cure from it. He really didn't know what to tell me as far as how it came about. He was just like, maybe it's the rapid weight you gain from your pregnancy. You're a lot, heavier than you ever been. Maybe that caused it. And he basically just told me to take some Hibiclens. Some of you who have dealt with HS and you have been to a doctor, you're probably very familiar about what Hibiclens is. It's pretty much like a medical grade solution to clean wounds. He was like, keep it clean, keep it covered. If things get really bad, you may need to go and have this drained, and you can see another doctor for surgery if you would like to. There's no guarantee that surgery works at this point, and at this point, we don't have a cure. He patted me on my back and sent me home. So that was a really sad day for me, very discouraging day for me, because it's nothing more disheartening than hoping that you're going to have some sort of solution and your doctor is not able to give you one. So I went home really upset, really sad, just feeling like I'm stuck with this thing that is just like debilitating, really. I had a newborn baby that I could barely lift because I was in so much pain, and I had never really experienced anything as terrible as this before. So from there, every now and then I just kept getting these boils, and when they would come in different areas under the arm. They would also go to the other side, same area, just the other underarm. And the way that my doctor explained it is that sometimes they tend to form tracks where, if one is reactive on one side, it creates a tunnel to the other side and can also create the same reaction on the other side. I don't know if I'm explaining that medically or perfectly, but that's how it was explained to me. So I started to have these issues. And when I would have them, I would go to the doctor. They would normally put me on an antibiotic. As you know, I don't know if other people who are listening have experienced that, but I've always felt like getting on antibiotics can cause, especially other female issues, and can cause things to just get off balance in your body as a woman. And I experienced some of that imbalance when I was taking antibiotics, but they were just putting me on antibiotic after antibiotic. I would get these lumps, and then they would drain, and then I would have to bandage up. I couldn't wear deodorant. I couldn't be outside with a tank top on. I couldn't be sweating, things like that. It was just a lot of things going on. And if you are somebody who struggles with HS, you know that it just really, really does stop it gets in the way of the way that you want to live life. So you may want to exercise. You may want to lift weights. You may want to join a hot yoga class or do different things. And like when you do those things, a lot of times it can be triggering, especially in your sweat glands, and they get inflamed. And so you're not able to enjoy some of the things that other people are able to enjoy, especially while you have a flare up. And then you'll start to notice different things that cause flare ups. So I would suggest definitely start keeping a notepad or notebook or something, or in the notes of your phone. What are the things that you do that seem to cause or trigger inflammation under the arm? Or for me, it's under the armpit. For you, it could be in the groin area or wherever else it happens for you, right? Because it can happen different places for different people, or God forbid, more than one place. Start to keep notes on when it happens for you, and what was it that you ate? What was it that you did before it happens? And I started to keep notes for me. And I know for me, it would be like when I would get really, really sweaty, it would happen for me, especially without a tank top. That friction would cause it to happen. Or I would eat certain foods like too much pizza or drinking too much wine, eating a lot of foods with gluten in it. And I'll come back and share like different things later on that have helped me. But I noticed when I would do certain things, it would cause flare-ups. When I would lift weights, unfortunately, a lot of people who have HS flare-ups can't really lift weights the way they want to. I can now, but I used to have issues anytime I would lift weights. I don't know if it was because of the friction. I'm not really too sure, but that was a no for me. I remember I was really excited about joining a hot yoga class. And that was a no for me because me sweating like that and having like the little workout clothes on, tank tops, like all the sweating I did caused flare ups. And I was in so much pain. And I never forget, I was really excited about my class. I was going every week. After maybe 3 classes or so, I had the worst flare ups under both arms at the same time ever. And to the point I was like bedridden. That's how much pain I was in. And I don't have a huge tolerance for pain. So it just continued to get worse. And then a couple years later, got pregnant with my last child, who is now 10. And that's when everything just increased for me. Like it got worse, where I was just bedridden a lot of days. I couldn't really pick up my daughter. Thank God my mom lived with us where she could help me during the time. So during that time, but I really could not get out of bed a lot of days. I didn't like really going out a lot of times because of the shame of having to wear bandages, possibly leaking. Could somebody see? Could somebody smell? All of these things happening just makes you feel like I'm too embarrassed to go out and be around people. And so I remember when my youngest was a toddler, I just lived a real restrictive lifestyle. There was just a lot of things I didn't do, couldn't enjoy doing that I used to enjoy doing. I just didn't have a real quality of life because I was in so much pain. And a lot of the people around you, they don't understand. Where they try to understand, they don't understand, because sometimes it seems like it's just like a lump under the arm. How could that be so painful? But it really, really is painful. It really, really is embarrassing. It can bring a lot of attention to you. You know, sometimes for some of us, we know if one's coming on one side, here comes another on the other side. And God forbid they come at the same time in different sites. That can be really, really hard. So I don't want to keep going on and on and on about what I went through, but I will say it went on for years. This was probably like a 10-year stretch or so. Probably not, I wouldn't say 10 years, maybe a little less, 8 or 9 year stretch of me suffering with the condition and trying different things to see what would like finally cut it off. And so that's where I was, and that was my journey with it. And I would just say a brief share of my turning point. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything, but a brief share of my turning point was when I walked into a health food store and God sent an angel my way. I really do call this man an angel because I never saw him again in the same store ever again. And he took time out that day when I walked in the store to research the issue and kind of put 2 and 2 together and figure out how to help me. And a lot of times when you go into like, and I think it was like something like a vitamin shop or something. So not even really a health food store, like a vitamin shop is a better way to say it. I think that's what it was. Normally people in stores like that are not going to stop what they're doing and sit for 30 minutes or more and research your issue and try to help you. That's what he did. He really tried to help me. And what he said to me was that he really suggested that I start to treat HS similar to an autoimmune disease. So I needed to start to change my diet, and I needed to start to take supplements to help as if I had an autoimmune disease. And I needed to start to do things that would help to minimize the inflammation in my body. And he was like, you got to start to rule stuff out. So like, stop eating pasta, because pasta was like my favorite food, still kind of is. Pizza, stop eating pizza and see like, does this help me be less reactive if I stop eating pizza? Start taking this supplement and see whether or not this helps. So he was saying, add one thing at a time and take away one thing at a time from your lifestyle, from your diet, to see whether or not you can change the outcome, because most things are triggered by your lifestyle and your diet. And that's where everything started to turn for me. So with prayer and faith in God, and some of the lifestyle changes I made and some of the supplement changes I made, I really started to experience relief to the point where now I have 0 boils under the arm. Sometimes when the weather changes from like summer to winter, summer to winter or winter to summer, sometimes the weather change can trigger me a little bit. And if I feel a lump coming in, there are things that I do to attack it before it becomes anything. But that's really the only thing I deal with now. I don't deal with much of anything now. If I know I'm going to be somewhere hot for a long period of time, I don't wear a sweatsuit. I don't put myself in situations where I'm creating a lot of friction. I have special shirts I wear when I work out. I'm able to lift weights. I'm able to live a normal life. I'm able to enjoy pasta sometimes, pizza sometimes, but I have a whole list of triggers, things that trigger me, that I stay away from so that I could make the condition better. So I have put together like an ebook that I want to share eventually. I'll soon as it's done and everything's ready, I'll put it in the description of the video. I'll make sure that it's low cost just for my time and for the tools I'm using to deliver the ebook. Basically, we'll cover that. And I'll make sure to share it as soon as I can. But overall, I'm here to share my journey. I'm here to connect with other people in the community who are struggling with this. Hopefully something that I share in one of these videos could help you to overcome, this condition. I am a walking testimony that it is possible to be diagnosed with something and go and break free of that thing and be able to live a free life, free of that condition. Yes, it comes with sacrifice and maybe some things like you have to give up to live free, but it is 100% worth it. So if you hear one of these videos and it's something that you do or triggers or anything that you can share with the community, please definitely drop a comment under this video below. Definitely like the video, definitely share it out so that more people can relate to this story and hear this story. And I'll be sure to come back and share some of the remedies and things that I've been doing that have helped this condition and helped me to live a better life. So be blessed, guys. I will see you all soon. Thanks for listening.